Space does not kill quickly. That is the lie people believe. I learned the truth while standing alone inside Outpost K8, watching ice crawl like veins across the outer airlock window. The station orbited a dead star. No heat, no traffic, no rescue routes. Only silence and cold so deep it felt alive. Then the signal came. Not a warning. Not a distress beacon. A voice. "Human, please, I am freezing." It was weak, breaking between breaths distorted by static. My console confirmed the impossible. A living being clung to the station hull. Humanoid, female, not human. My training activated instantly. Unknown species. No clearance. No contact. Every law humanity had written after first contact disasters screamed one command: do nothing. Outside the glass, she drifted closer, fingers stiff, movement slow. Her skin glowed faintly, a pale silver blue, already crusted with ice crystals. Atmosphere loss had turned her breaths into mist that vanished instantly into vacuum. She should have been dead. Yet she looked straight into the camera. Eyes don't lie in moments like that. "Human," she said again, voice cracking. "Let me in, I beg you. I will reward you." The word reward meant nothing. Survival did. I had read reports, entire colonies wiped out because someone trusted an alien plea. Humanity learned fear the hard way. We survived by building walls, protocols, and guns. Compassion was considered a weakness now, a luxury for safe worlds. But the title of every human history book is the same, whether written in blood or hope. Humans survive by choosing when to break their own rules. The temperature alarm spiked. Heat loss was accelerating. If I opened the airlock, station pressure would drop. Systems could fail. I could die. If I didn't, she would. Her movement slowed. One hand slipped. Her body drifted, tethered only by a failing grip. The sensors marked her vitals collapsing. Whatever her species was, cold killed them too. "I know what you think of us," she whispered. "We know what you think of yourselves." Her words cut deeper than fear. Humans call themselves monsters because it's easier than admitting the truth, that when faced with suffering, they still feel something. I placed my hand on the override. Command would court-martial me. History might curse me. But the truth behind the title was simple. A freezing human does not ask what species you are. They ask if you will open the door. I opened it. The airlock screamed as warmth escaped into space. She collapsed inside, light as a child, shivering violently. Frost melted into water. Color returned to her skin. She lived. In that moment, I understood something the universe had forgotten. Power is not in weapons. Survival is not in fear. And when an alien woman begs a human to let her in from the cold, the real test is not whether she is lying. It is whether humanity still remembers who it is. The alarms did not stop screaming. They never do when you break protocol. Red lights flooded the airlock chamber as pressure stabilized, emergency shutters slamming down across the station like armored eyelids. I dragged the alien woman farther inside, my breath loud inside my helmet even though the room was sealed. She weighed almost nothing, her body trembling in violent spasms as frost cracked and fell from her skin. Medical scanners flickered, struggling to classify her biology. Unknown structure. Unknown organs. Unknown temperature tolerance. But one thing was clear, she was alive, barely. I wrapped her in thermal insulation, activating every heater in the chamber. Heat poured into the room like forgiveness, slow and reluctant. Her breathing was shallow, uneven, each inhale a fight. If she died now, command would say I wasted everything for nothing. I told myself that didn't matter. That was the lie I needed to stand. Minutes passed, then something changed. Her shivering eased. Color deepened beneath her translucent skin, shifting from pale blue to soft silver. Her fingers twitched. Sensors spiked, not failure but recovery. Whatever her species was, they were stronger than we thought, or more desperate. She opened her eyes. Up close they weren't terrifying. No glowing rage, no predatory hunger, just exhaustion and relief. "You chose," she whispered. I didn't answer. My hand hovered near the emergency sedative, ready to inject if she moved too fast. Every human instinct screamed caution now that the immediate danger had passed. Saving someone was easy. Trusting them afterward was the real risk. She noticed. "You fear what comes after mercy," she said softly. "So do we." That caught me off guard. "You speak English," I said. She nodded faintly. "We learned your languages long before we learned your weapons." The words sent a chill through me that had nothing to do with temperature. Before I could ask more, the station shook. External thrusters roared as command vessels dropped out of slipspace around us. They were fast, too fast. Someone had been watching this sector closely. I tapped my comm. "Outpost K8 to command, medical emergency in progress." Silence. Then a cold, familiar voice. "State the nature of the emergency." I looked down at the alien woman. She met my eyes, no fear now, only certainty. "First contact," I said, and she was freezing to death. There was a pause long enough to hold a verdict. "You violated standing orders," command replied. "Contain the entity. Armed teams are inbound." Her fingers tightened around my sleeve, not in panic but in trust. "They will see me as a threat," she said, "and you as a mistake." "Maybe," I answered. Outside the reinforced hull, weapons powered up. Humans were very good at that part. But something else was happening too. The cold had not killed her. Fear had not stopped me. And whatever came next, judgment, war, or understanding, had already been shaped by one undeniable truth. Humanity had opened the door. And the universe was about to step inside. The first thing you hear before soldiers arrive is not footsteps. It's silence. The station's hum lowered as systems diverted power to defense grids. Lights dimmed. Bulkheads sealed in sequence, cutting the outpost into controlled kill zones. I had trained for this. Everyone had. Humanity survived because we prepared for the worst version of everything. The alien woman sat up slowly, wrapped in thermal sheets, her movements deliberate. She understood escalation without needing translation. "They are coming to erase this moment," she said calmly. Armed boots struck metal outside the medical bay. Orders echoed down the corridor, sharp and practiced. Human voices carried authority born from centuries of war. Drones buzzed overhead, scanning for heat signatures that didn't belong. I stepped between her and the door. "You should lie down," I said. "Sudden movement will get you killed." She studied me with something close to sadness. "You protect what you fear. That is why your species is dangerous and why it is precious." The door hissed open. 6 soldiers flooded in, weapons raised, targeting lasers crawling across her chest, her head, her hands. One wrong twitch and this would end in blood, hers or ours. "Step away from the entity," the squad leader ordered. I didn't move. "She's unarmed," I said. "She's a survivor." "That thing is an unknown variable," he snapped. "Unknown variables get eliminated." The alien woman slowly raised her hands, palms open. No threat posture, no energy spike. Sensors confirmed it. She was doing everything right. "I asked for warmth," she said to them. "Not mercy. Mercy was given freely." The soldiers hesitated. That hesitation mattered. I felt it then, the shift, the fragile crack in certainty. Humans are most dangerous when they believe they are right. But when doubt enters, even for a second, something else can surface. "What do you want?" the squad leader demanded. "To speak," she replied, "and to leave alive." Not happening. She turned her head slightly, eyes never leaving mine. Human, she said, tell them the truth behind your title. I swallowed. She was freezing, I said. Just like any of us would be, space doesn't care what you are, cold kills everything. The words hung there, heavier than weapons fire. Command broke in over the channel. This conversation is over, secure the alien. Before they could move, the station lights flickered. Every screen activated at once. Star charts filled the walls, routes humanity had never mapped, regions declared impossible to cross. Gasps followed. I am not a weapon, she said. I am a messenger who almost died because fear answers faster than compassion. Silence returned, this time earned. Weapons lowered, slowly, unwillingly. Command didn't speak. Because for the first time since humanity reached the stars, we were not the strongest presence in the room. And yet we were not powerless either. The alien woman looked at me and spoke softly, so only I could hear. This is where your species proves whether kindness was an accident or a choice. Outside the viewport, unknown ships began to emerge from nothingness. And every human weapon on the station suddenly felt very small. The ships outside did not form attack patterns. That was the first mistake our fear made. They arrived silently, vast, elegant structures bending light instead of breaking it. No weapon ports, no charging signatures, just presence, the kind that did not need to threaten. Every human on the station felt it. Command's voice finally returned, strained but controlled. Unknown fleet, identify yourselves. The alien woman stepped forward, no longer weak, no longer shivering. The warmth had done more than save her body, it had restored her authority. We are the Talari, she said, observers, wanderers, witnesses of young species. Every screen shifted. Records flooded in, ancient signals, unexplained rescues, lost ships that somehow survived impossible journeys. The truth was undeniable. They had been there all along. Why now? Command demanded. Because today, she answered, a human chose life over law. She turned to face the room. Soldiers, officers, scientists, humans who had lived their entire lives believing the universe was hostile. You believe strength is domination, she continued. That survival requires fear. We believed that too once. It destroyed us. Images followed. Civilizations burned. Species erased not by enemies but by mistrust. We watched you closely, she said. Your wars, your cruelty, your compassion. We argued for centuries whether humanity would be a threat or a bridge. Her eyes found mine. You answered that question in the cold. No one spoke. Then something unexpected happened. Command rescinded the weapons lock. Across the station, soldiers relaxed, not fully but enough to listen. The Talari ships extended data streams. Cures for diseases humanity still feared, energy systems that did not poison worlds, star routes that avoided collapse zones. Not gifts of dominance, tools for survival. This is the reward I promised, she said, not for you alone but for your species. Treaties followed, carefully, slowly. Humanity did not stop being cautious, but fear was no longer the only voice at the table. Hours later, I stood alone at the airlock again. The alien woman prepared to leave, her people waiting beyond the glass. She paused before stepping through. You know, she said softly, if you had not opened the door, we would have turned away forever. What would have happened to us? I asked. She met my eyes. You would have survived longer than most and died alone. She stepped into the light, disappearing into the vastness of space. The station warmed. The universe felt different. History would not remember my name. But it would remember the moment humanity proved something true behind the title. When someone is freezing in the dark and begs to be let in. Humans are at their strongest not when they pull the trigger, but when they open the door.